Hi, this is the State of the Mist podcast. I'm Criff,
And I'm Salamander.
and we're here again to bring you all the news and hot gossip. What do they call it now? The tea of
Yeah, the
Woodward's World.
tea. Things have been pretty quiet in the mists these past few months, but due to the recent updates and the recently passed beta, things have spiced up a little bit.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a drought for a bit where they were doing other things in the dev studio, I guess. But now we got a lot of fresh things to talk
Yeah,
about.
a lot. And we got some new shinies in the mists too. We'll go over all of that.
Yes, that's probably the best to start with because that's the big news that is driving all the people into World vs. World now.
Oh yeah. If you guys haven't heard, we got an infusion, and not just one of those infusions that give you +5 condition damage. It's one of the infusions that give you the what is it? It gives you a visual effect on your character.
Yeah, kind of like a ghostly effect. There's another infusion that's similar. I don't know the name of it, but like an Ascalon ghost a bit.
Yeah.
There is a way to stack them that I don't know if they put in the wiki or not. But if you put on 3 infusions instead of just being a ghostly white, it changes you to the color of your current server, whether it's red, blue, or green. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
expensive, a lot of tickets, but I did it. I did it just for fun.
But I don't think you needed the tickets, right? Like you had all the legendary gear that you were going after anyway.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of tickets sitting there because I refuse to get medium legendary armor. So got
Yeah,
my others, and my tickets are just sitting there.
I think medium's all I need. I know I probably won't use it, but uh, I'm kind of a completionist, and even though it's just gonna sit there, I figured might as well go for it eventually.
Yeah, the other cool thing they put in is the new World vendor Dugan. Duggan. I like
Oh
Dugan
yeah,
better. And so he gives us a sync for those emblems that have been stacking up for quite a while. The emblem of the Avenger, and now you can actually spend them on something useful instead of having stacks in your bank for no reason.
yeah. A lot of people have been throwing them out, but for the longest, some YouTubers have been saying to hold on to them just in case. I think we mentioned in a previous podcast to hold on to them because ANET, kind of let us know that they're reworking the rewards, and this is, one of the reworks. So hopefully you guys have listened to that episode and held on to these um onto that currency that we've been holding on to for the longest.
Yeah, there's like a weekly limit of what you can get from the vendor, but there's some useful stuff. I mean, you can get feasts of food that are actually useful. You can get siege. You can get crafting stuff, like really useful sinks for things. Like there's actually what is the provisioner token for? Because I got it and I'm like, I don't know what this is, but
Provisioner tokens, um those are for the what's it called? Damn.
like hero points or something I don't need. But
I feel like I've used them for the second gen second gen legendaries. I might be
ah,
wrong, but I think I've used them for the second gen legendaries. Uh Yeah, can't think of it off the top of my head. If you guys listening know what it's used for, go ahead and drop it in the comments and we'll pin you to the top. But yeah, like off the top of my head, I can't remember for the life of me.
sorry guys, my PVE knowledge is weak. But yeah, on top of that cool vendor with weekly rotating useful stuff, there are some new rewards which seem to be pretty damn rare. But there's a box, a lockbox that now drops from the keep lords and
Oh
tower
yeah.
supervisors. Supposedly, there's like a really expensive infusion that comes out of that, but I haven't talked to anybody that's actually gotten one yet, so they're pretty rare.
I haven't seen a post about that yet either. I think I've gotten the lockbox, but had no idea what it was and didn't really get anything good out of it. But yeah.
Yeah, they're crap. I mean, if you open them, it's like 3 crafting materials, like literally just 3 pieces of iron I just got out of it. So
It's probably like the trick or treat bags and stuff. You kind of gamble them. Do they sell on the trading post? Do you know?
they do. At launch they were like a gold each. They've gone down a lot,
Okay.
but yeah, they can sell. But yeah, those rewards are. I mean, well, of course, anytime there's new content, people rush in, but
Yeah.
definitely higher activity levels with people trying to get their fancy shiny infusions and things.
ANET make keep bosses 3 times harder, please. That's gonna
Yeah,
bring
but
people in with their raid rotations and
even
PvE raid gear.
there is there's the dropped infusion, and then there's the one you can get just by yourself with an achievement that's account bound. I went ahead and got those, but there's an achievement you have to do going around to different spots on the map, and it's not that bad. I think it took me like less than a day.
Oh,
The only
nice.
tricky one is just like there's one in SM. So if you don't
Ah.
own SM, you're kind of stuck until your server can take that.
Any jumping
But,
puzzles?
oh, luckily, no, or I would not have it. Yeah, that was a little bit ago. I think that was the first recent adjustment they put in.
Yeah, I remember seeing that update a few weeks back. I think it was a few weeks back. Yeah.
And then there was the 2-week beta, which was a first. We'd always had 1-week betas before, but this one was a full 2 weeks. So there could be a reset and then another, server matchup with different enemies.
Yeah, such a bummer that I missed that. I try to make some of the days, but every single time I thought I'd make it, like our schedule picked up again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a busy time of year. I've got a lot more going on. I think a lot of people do, at least in
Yeah.
the northern hemisphere. It was good though. I mean, they had that Call of War buff just like they have had before, where you get the bonus WXP and such. But I feel like the hype kind of died down after the first week, and the second week of beta was more quote unquote normal Warvis World. So kind of
Yeah.
not as many queue, more of the regulars, less people that are just popping in to see what's going on.
That's good. Yeah. Once the alliances truly roll out, I feel like the honeymoon phase will die down and we'll see it fall back into normalcy. And that's what I'm really hoping to see. To see the alliance beta fully roll out and then find the new normal
Hmm.
because that's when things really take off, I feel.
Yeah, and all the guilds have been in kind of a holding pattern of we don't know what ANET's going to do, so we're not going to like prematurely do too much and overcommit. And some guilds are kind of finding friends and forming alliance guilds, but others are just holding on and seeing what happens. So it'll be good to kind of get that in place, and then the guilds can make their decisions and form those communities
Right.
more effectively.
Yeah, and I think we can probably expect a roadmap soon, something with like the dates planned out, or at least a rough roadmap. Um, they usually drop that around, I think this time of year, right?
I'm not sure if they're going to, honestly. Like I think I liked having them, but I think they kind of regretted it because it holds them to certain dates more than they really want to.
That makes sense.
So I see them doing more kind of general time frame, giving people expectations, but committing to
Yeah.
dates seems to be something that's burned before. So I don't know if they'll go that route. They did say in the last update though that they'll be back this week with some updates about the next beta. So there is kind of a general idea. Hopefully we'll hear something this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, even post beta there were a couple of other big items that have happened. I guess June was a hopping month.
Yeah, a lot of stuff has happened. Big class changes and a lot of changes with the next X pack.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah. You want to go over the class changes first, or at least the more um world v world focused stuff?
Yeah, that's upon us. That's already in place. So we can
Yeah.
we can hit that first. So yeah, big balance patch, which I guess they're aiming to do, I don't know, every quarter. So this one was the 27th of June. So the big impacts world versus world wise, although there was a lot of changes, not all of them affect world versus world or, the classes that we count on. They hit Berserker, they hit Scourge, they hit Vindicator pretty significantly.
And the chrono changes.
And the Chrono, yeah. That hurts personally. That's
Yeah.
changed my playstyle a lot. Yeah.
I literally just started playing Chrono, I think this year or maybe a little later last year, but yeah, like I got comfortable in Chrono and now I'm gonna have to change my playstyle, which is fine. I constantly have to change the way I play, so it's fine. I can adapt, but yeah, those focus pulls were really nice. And for those who aren't familiar or don't play Chrono or don't follow a tag that uses a Chrono, the range was nerfed by a lot. I think the max range of the pull was like 1500. So
Mhm.
the range of the pull placement was 900, and then the radius of the pull was 600. So the farthest it could pull, like the farthest enemy it could pull, was 1500 units away, and that was nerfed to what is it? Do you have the numbers, Criff?
It's 600 for the line,
Okay.
and I think the radius is smaller too, but it ends up being 1200 total.
Okay. Dang. Yeah, that's a huge change. Yeah.
I mean, it's a plus and it's a minus. Like that is the skill that was pulling everyone off the walls. If you ever got
Yeah.
yanked off
Oh
on a
yeah.
wall, that's what it was. So you probably will feel less of that, or if you are a mesmer, it'll be harder to pull that off.
Yeah.
I
And
think it's overall positive, though. It kind of pushed the fights to be a bit more back and forth range for too long because you were going to have some people to get pulled, so you kind of got to bait out the pulls first.
yeah.
But man, it changes Mesmer a lot. Like that opening move of yanking people out of their Zerg is not really as easy to do. So and the null field too, that range was nerfed. So all those strips that kind of set up the pull are also much shorter range. So the chronos aren't as strippy as they once were now.
Pushing more towards the melee comps. You can see that a lot with the Scourge changes too. Well, I feel like Scourges still perform pretty well. Uh, but with a lot of the changes, people are leaning more towards Reapers, and Reapers are more melee heavy. So it would make sense that it would seem as if a lot of things are switching or leaning more towards um, improving the melee comps.
We'll see where it kind of settles in. The I don't know if the meta's really set yet as to what people are going to play post patch. But I mean the overall gist of the patch was no boon rips. They hit the mesmer on the
Yeah.
boon rips. The scourge less boon rips. I think it was from their shade cast. They don't get as many boon rips or something. And the spellbreaker, I forgot that one. The spellbreaker bubble is nerfed, and the break
Again.
enchantment is nerfed. Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah, it lasts a very short duration.
Okay.
So it's still going to be psychologically scary for Zergs, but it doesn't last nearly as long. So the rips will of course be less as well.
Okay. Damn.
So that's all the Boonstrip classes really. Like they nerfed each of them so that they can rip less. But the good thing is that affects both sides. So we can rip less, the enemy can rip less as well. So it kind of gives the groups a chance to maintain their boons a little bit better and be a little bit tankier. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying just Scourge is just dead. Screw it, just only play Reaper. But I'm saying Scourge can still pull it off pretty well. Like some of our Scourges are doing at least as well as the Reapers on those numbers.
Yeah.
So that was the big Boon Rip nerf, and then big DPS nerf was the Berserker.
Oh yeah.
No more Arc Divider just wiping a Zerg in in one move. 'Cause, yeah, that triple spin while you could move that was impressive. But
So you don't see that many people I mean that many enemy groups stacking berserkers now like they used to.
I'm seeing some Berserker Hammer actually.
Oh,
There's
nice.
Hammer Longbow seems to be an option for some instead of the Greatsword.
Okay.
But yeah, groups are looking at other sources of damage, so we'll see some creative stuff. There's going to be different routes to go, and then of course the support Vindicator got hit. I think it was in terms of their barrier generation.
Ah man.
That was what was kind of enabling the last meta is the strips, and then the support Vindy gives support and a barrier for the first hit, and then the Berserker comes in and whacks everything while they have barrier, so you can't even stop them.
That's good. That was crushed pretty quick. Well, that was the meta for a little while though.
Yeah, so it's kind of a nerf to that melee meta that we were seeing, but
Yeah,
they'll still be melee and still be range. Of course, it's just people gonna have to find different classes to rely on.
right. And
That's
finding the
the
new
main.
class is going to be a journey with the X pack changes too.
Oh boy, yeah, I don't even know where to start with that. That's
Yeah, we won't go into like crazy detail in the podcast because I'm sure plenty of people know what's gonna happen. But do you want to go over the specifics, Griff?
yeah. I mean, so if you've been under a rock, they put out an announcement that there is a new expansion coming next month. So they announced it, and it's already ready to go and pre-purchase, and we'll be seeing it, in a short time period.
Yeah, and I know it seems a little soon, but ANET said that they're going to be pushing these expansions out a little more frequently, and I'm kind of glad about it. Um, and along with the expansions are going to be some class changes. It is coming with the expansions, right? I read that right.
Yeah, yeah, and they had a beta last weekend for kind of testing out one of the components, which they're deviating from the other expansions in that there doesn't seem to be a new class that they're adding or anything on
Yeah,
that note. It's a new mastery where with your existing classes you can use new weapons.
yeah, and you can unlock some masteries that allow you to use weapons from other elite specs. For example, like if you're on Dragon Hunter, you can I think it's like an achievement wherein you can unlock the axe from Firebrand and use it on the Dragon Hunter.
Right, even though that specialization doesn't normally have it. And
Yeah.
then they've got a list on top of that where there are some crazy weapons that each class is going to be able to unlock,
Oh
which is
yeah.
like Guardian gets pistols, Warrior gets staff, just some crazy stuff that you never would have thought of.
I'm curious to see where the warrior staff goes. Also the pistol dragon not dragon hunter, pistol guardian sounds super fun. I already came up with a name for my I think it'll be my third or fourth guardian that's going to run this pistol build.
Does it have pew pew in the name?
No. Uh what's it called? It's you know what? People are going to have to wait and see. I don't want it to get stolen.
True, true. Somebody's gonna copyright that real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's no telling what those skills are actually going to look like or interact with the builds in their final forms. So I don't know. I think some people get hyped and like oh my god, I can finally use this weapon I've always wanted to on this class and blah blah blah. And I don't. I guess that's just not really my thing. Like theory crafting gives me an aneurysm. I don't really like it. Like if things aren't known yet and people are just rambling on about theories of what they could be, I don't know. I guess that's kind of
Yeah.
not a creative activity I enjoy, but other people do. So
We should bring some theory crafters on the podcast sometime. Pick their brain.
yeah, I don't know any off the top of my head, but we could try that out.
Yeah, would be fun.
But yeah, there's just so many possible options. So many with that many skills changing. So there's going to be a lot of unforeseen consequences and crazy builds that come out of that, I'm sure. And
Yeah, it's gonna be a little messy off the bat, but I think it'll situate and well, everything goes back to normalcy eventually.
yeah, whatever the new normal ends up being.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in shock still as to the turnaround time on that expansion,
Oh
and
yeah.
having that already as a pre-order is just much more rapid and sleek than we've seen the other launches.
Yeah, like not long after their last expansion, they're like, we're currently working on a new expansion, and just so you know, the um living world that's going to come out within a few months is going to be the last one, and then living world comes out, then suddenly they're like expansions here, and yeah, that was insanely quick. Definitely not used to that.
Yeah, it's good to see positive development and changes and new stuff coming out.
Oh yeah.
And at the end of that last news bit, they did add in that mention of another beta coming up soon for World vs. World,
Yes.
which they are indicating will have the ability
Drum
for
roll.
guilds to team up as alliances.
Heck yes, the alliance system will be out. Well, is it gonna be like a beta test? Or will the beta kind of be permanent and implemented into the game? And then they just work out the kinks along the way.
They're still calling it restructuring beta, so
Okay.
this is the first time we'll see that system, the system of combining guilds together into alliances. So I expect maybe one more beta after that, just so they feel comfortable for a fully
Right.
launch. But I mean, if they don't get this thing in by fall, like let's just all uninstall. Yeah, no, it's been tested plenty, and if this system goes according to plan this month, I mean, there's no reason they can't launch it. Just do it already.
Right. I have a lot of faith in ANET, so I think what we get will be pretty good. Obviously with a lot of these big updates there are going to be some bugs, but we're all literally still here, so yeah.
Yeah, yeah. One of the well, the couple complaints I heard mainly out of people about the last beta was, well, first of all, the betas that they have been doing have taken player hours into consideration, like how much time people are playing, and try to balance the population according to that and keep the guilds together, but nothing else. They didn't look at coverage, guild play style, or ability, or anything like that. That just wasn't factored in.
Pretty much just total population and
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, if they could factor in something like activity during time zones, that would be awesome because yeah, that's a pretty big issue too.
Yeah, and I don't know how well they're going to be able to do that because of sorting by guilds, because the
Right.
players are self-sorting into their own groups. So at some point, it's player and guild responsibility to fix that, and not ANET, because
Yeah.
we're making the teams
Yeah,
basically.
that's true.
And so, well, one of the complaints in this last beta was, I'm not going to name them, but there were at least four of the larger quote unquote server guilds that have their own alliances kind of shoved into one server. So they had a lot of queues and not a lot of people to fight, and the other
That's
servers
rough.
were the other servers had people, but they were not organized or really competent people. So
Damn.
on our side is good, and we didn't fight that server. We had a pretty good experience with our fairly balanced group of guilds and such. But then others were complaining that there was nothing to fight because everybody was all shoved into one team. So and then others were just bored. So but that's kind of what you would expect if they're only sorting by guilds and the guilds can't ally together. So
Yeah.
I would hope to see something on their side that kind of factors in more variables like guild KDR and stuff like that, to not put all the quote unquote good fight guilds together, because that's not really fun for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, as a training guild, going against every single fight guild would be a little rough.
A little bit, a little bit, a little
Just a
bit.
little bit.
We are seeing under the radar little trouble in paradise, little guilds interacting with each other and seeing whether they're compatible or not, and that sets the groundwork for kind of future compatibility or future rivalry for what alliances come. So that's a good thing to see.
Yeah, yeah, it's part of the journey.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long it takes the alliances to kind of get stable. They may never. I mean, I don't expect them to be fully stable, but you'll at
Yeah.
least kind of have some core guilds that hang out together, and then other guilds that kind of flit around as mercenaries. And
Yeah.
there is definitely a lot of activity, though. Just having new things is bringing in a lot of fresh meat to the mists.
Yeah, a lot of new names, new faces. I've been seeing a big influx of new players. Um, yeah.
Yeah, recruiting's been going good. Lots of people wanting to learn, so that's always plus.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's about all the news we have for World versus World at this time. And I really appreciate all you guys listening in. Hopefully, you can like and subscribe and tell your friends.
Yeah, always great to have you guys listening. really great seeing your comments. And, sometimes we get DMs and whispers. It's nice to see that people are out there watching and listening.
It really is. Yeah, I had a commander from another guild actually mention that he'd seen some of our stuff and that had helped him play. So I
That's
always
awesome.
always nice to hear that people enjoy the content. That really
Oh, yeah.
encourages us to keep doing this stuff. So
Yeah.
all right, well, we'll wrap it up there. This is the State of the Mist podcast, and I'm Criff.
And I'm Salamander.
We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.